Okay, so tonight I want to talk to you. This isn't as well thought out as I hoped, but we'll try. About how one person alone, me, can, I don't know, I don't like the backlighting thing I've got going on here. Here we go. One person alone is able to take care of so much. How do I look at the camera itself? Oh, there we go. So much of this garden, such a big garden by myself. And what I can tell you is there are just three things that are my key go-to important things. The first one I can't really help you with, see. The first one is that in my life, the absolute biggest priority that I have, period, is my garden. I spend every single evening working on it. So there's that. That's one of those things that either you got it or you don't. I can't help you with that one. But there are two other things that I can help you with. Those can be helped. So the two other things are, one, learn to recognize plants that you don't want and that you do want in seedling form. So a lot of perennial weeds have a seedling form that is just kind of not looking like the plant at all. Something you might not realize is that most plants, when they come out of their seed jail, their first two sets of leaves look nothing like the plant's going to look like. For example, maple leaf trees have little stringy leaves first, and then the next set of leaves look a little bit more like oak leaves, sort of, but definitely not like maple trees until the third set of leaves, and that's very normal. And by the time they have their third set of leaves, they're kind of difficult to get out of the ground. So I really do prefer to memorize what seedlings are which, and that might be something we can do video wise in the future. I think that would be kind of a good thing for information to be out about. I've had a lot of crown vetch seedlings popping up. Crown vetch is almost impossible to get rid of after it's established, but since I have all of this, it's kind of difficult. All of this plain dirt, I'm seeing a whole bunch of them popping up, and they're just easy to spot and easy to get rid of when they're that tiny. And I think I just have a flat out just carpet of them. After the black tarp came off, there were still some dormant seeds in here, especially once I started stirring up the dirt. They were protected from the heat of the tarp, and the seeds will sprout, but I can get them pulled out with ease. The third thing is pick a ground cover wisely. I do have problems with slugs with what I have, but it's manageable, so I'm not changing it anytime soon. Oh no. I might find other ways to deal with slugs. I've heard nematodes, but I've had trouble finding companies that will ship them to the US. The slug nematodes are readily available in the UK, should you be interested and happen to be located there. I don't think I currently have an audience in that region of the world. But there are some iron pellets that are organic and available here that are said to take care of slug problems, because my slug problem is severe. The Stonecrop was something that was just spreading everywhere and had a really shallow root system and could be interseeded with effort. Just a small bit of dirt thrown on top of it was nice and easy to just take care of it being gone. It just kind of takes care of itself. And let me see if I can show you some of that. I keep being backlit and the sun's going down. So Stonecrop. This is yellow sedum. there's my chin. This stuff. And it's gonna bloom too. It gets a really nice bright yellow going for it. So those are some of the tricks. And I will add as a bonus that there was a year in, I guess it was 2015, was a turning point for me where I could actually take care of this and it wasn't out of hand anymore. There was a year where I could not plant annuals. And I just focused on weeding at, like I said, the seedling size. Weeding and making sure that I kept the ground cover fully established, got it down here as well as I could, and also, see, if I point towards the garden, then you can't see my face. Aw. And also helped, see here, look. I showed you Stonecrop and now I have a slug on my finger. My slug problem's pretty severe. Working on that. So I focused on the perennials and just weeding, and I was absolutely amazed how much food I got because I didn't weed out all of the little cherry tomatoes that self-seed themselves. I went ahead and just harvested and weeded. Harvested and weeded. I didn't know yet that was called permaculture. It just worked. And then I started studying, like, what is this called? What am I doing? And it's been working wonderfully for me ever since, except the slugs. Except the slugs, it's been working wonderfully for me ever since. So I do highly recommend those methods. I cannot help you have gardening be your number one priority in life. But I can say that even with a severe injury, I had about 8 months worth of serious whiplash symptoms that had me in therapy 3 to 5 times a week, and just suffering really bad systemic muscle spasms and everything during that period of time. And I still kept the garden looking beautiful because all I was pulling up was seedlings. I was sitting on a little bench and not lifting it. I got one of those little benches with wheels, and I just kind of scooted around the garden and weeded. That was all I did. And that was the beginning of, I don't even know where I'm pointing you because you're in selfie mode. That was the beginning of this place actually looking in order pretty much all the time. And I'm really very, very happy with it. See, there you go. There you go. That's a nice view. Rhubarb, all of the asparagus. This is like a seeding bed here that has mostly onions and stuff in it. My row of trees is over. Starts with the butterfly weed, the joe pie, cherry tree, and then there's a plum tree here, and there's more cherry trees and stuff over here. There's the cherry tree and 2 Saskatoons and an apple and a pear. So I already had a lot of those things when that injury happened, so all I did was weed. So now I've switched to plant a new perennial. Oh, that's a nice view. Plant a new perennial every year. Several, honestly, because bare root plant delivery is cheap. So plant several new perennials and weed. So each spring I'm watering in 10 to 12 new perennial plants and weeding. It's manageable. It's manageable. And then by fall, it gets a little out of hand because the harvesting is so much. But with perennials, the good news is that if I don't manage to keep up with it, then like the birds get it or whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's just kind of a thing. So for example, I have too many onions, so I have to keep picking the tops off of those. I count this in harvesting. So otherwise this will become 12 more because I have the walking onions. So I just pick them off while they're that size and call it a day. Yep, so that's my little explanation of how I take care of a great big garden like this by myself and don't get desperately behind and just end up like a weed patch. And I'm curious if these talking videos